You're watching this video because you have a vehicle from Ford in the same model years, maybe Expedition, maybe an F-150, and your front vents stopped changing. You get air out of the front vent in the cabin, but nothing out of the defroster or the floor. You tap the button in the front, it changes on the display, but nothing happens in the back. This started for me 3 years ago. I heard a clunk behind the dash. It took me 2 days to realize that the vents were no longer changing. I proceeded to clean the truck one day and found this piece of plastic laying on the floor by the gas pedal. It is the control arm for the vent distribution box under your dash. The bracket falls out from behind that bracket onto the floor. You can reach up in there and pull the bracket apart and see right where it broke off. Here's the bracket itself with the motor attached and the gear. Everything is keyed. These are the 4 posts that are plastic welded in place. With my luck, I was able to pull it out with one hand. A couple tugs and it popped right apart. This is the plastic disc that connects to that motor, holds the 2 brackets for the top vent and the lower floor vent, and controls everything. It only goes together in one way. You can reassemble this by option A, and that's epoxying the part back in place and an Allen wrench in it for reinforcement. This lasted 1 month. Plastic fell out. So this year I tried doing it again. I added some wire and I ran the Allen wrench all the way through. And more epoxy. You can reassemble the plate by putting epoxy into where the plastic welds were. It looked pretty good, but fell out within 24 hours. I'm assuming the plastic wasn't clean enough. Option B is replace the entire part. I purchased it off of the Ford website. Local dealership sent it to me within 24 hours. It does require full dash removal. There is a link to a video in the description. It is a 1-person removal.
There it is. 5 hours later. 5 hours later, we had the dash out. All right, other side. Yeah, the dash is definitely angled. I did take the tip of putting the bolt in here. It's not the right bolt. It's a little softer, I think, but it seems to be holding. It's definitely not. It'd be nice if it was longer. Let's put it that way. We are not working on this stuff over here. We are working over there. It looks like there's only a few screws to work with. They're all right out in front. This one here that actually goes to the body, that comes with a replacement nut right there. See, 1, 2 in the front, 1 on the front there on the side, and I think there's 2 on the back there and over there. So I'm gonna see if I can get up under there. Where are we? Yes, I gotta get these 2 bolts here and there. Actually, this is not bad. So we can get you up this way. All right, day number 2. I realized I'm kind of a dummy. I removed all those screws that I could easily access. Started wiggling the box and it wouldn't come out. Then I realized, you know, there's probably more screws on the back of this thing because they don't assemble these things in the truck. It's one big unit that goes in. So here's a better view of it. It's the upper plenum. I think they just called it an air box, but the vents are controlled through this box, as mentioned before, on this side over here. So far I've removed on the old one, this one, this screw, this screw. There are 2 on the side that point from the bottom up, that one and that one. Wiggled it a lot, wouldn't come out. And I realized, you know, I probably missed something. And sure enough, I did. On the back, because you can't access it at all with the box in the truck, there are 3 screws that I confirmed with the borescope. They go in the bottom. From the bottom up, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Physically impossible to get to without removing the entire box. What is the entire box? All the plastic you see in this picture is the entire box. The whole housing on the right side, that includes your evaporator, your fan, your fresh air door, and it connects to the box over there. The whole thing goes from this side all the way to the other side as one piece of plastic, and the housing just sits right on top of it. So my options are A, call a mobile mechanic, have them come out and discharge the AC system. That's just a piece of paper on top of my battery. And then disconnect the radiator hoses there, and then unbolt a bunch of stuff back here that I can't see, and have the entire box removed so I can take out those 3 screws, have them do whatever on this side, and then I reassemble it, have them come back out and recharge the system. I'm not doing that. Option B. Option B includes this. Let's cut some shit out. All right, so box goes down to here, to this flange right here, and the easiest thing I can think of, because there's a whole bunch of different doors and stuff. Well, actually, I think there's like 2 doors in here. They're pretty light. What I'm going to end up doing is just chopping off the top so I can remove the front, and then that way I can get down to the back and start cutting around down there until I find the screws, and then I'll flatten it out as much as I can, and then I will literally just drop the new housing right on top of this thing, and then probably do some epoxy on the back, just because I don't have any way of getting to the screw holes down there. So I figured drop a line of epoxy down there, set this thing on top, screw it down, and then give the epoxy some time to cure, because hey, it's going to be probably another 4 to 5 hours to reassemble this whole thing. Alright, I've been hacking away at this thing for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes now. Got most of it cleared out. But this is a very small area, and I can't get in here and record at the same time because I just don't fit with the camera. So I'm down to this little back chunk here. That's where all the screws are. So I got to figure out how to work around the screws and not destroy everything. But so far, I have not busted into the insulation. Everything back here is still intact. There's a lot of plastic down here I'm going to have to vacuum out. As you can see down there, there's dust and a lot of debris. But we're almost there. Alright, so an issue I noticed on reassembly is that these screws in the back here, just like the ones around the front and the sides, pull the housings together. So when there's no screw in the back, there's about a 1/16 to an eighth of an inch gap. Just enough where a piece of sealant or weatherproofing will fit right in there, like the edge of it right here will. So I'm just going to slice this up a little bit, lay it from here to here and around the corner over to here, and then reassemble for like the 4th time now. Line up. Front's down almost completely. Alright, if I pop this in, hey, look at that. It just pops right together. Alright, so the trick is, line up this bolt first. Can you see it? Line up that bolt first, and then it'll go to the side. It'll slip right into place, so all these screws line up just nicely, including right there. Nice fit. All right, so I'll screw down the front there once I find all the screws, and then I'm calling it done for the day at that point. I'm not gonna try to reassemble this dash tonight. Alright, we are outside, so we can actually see everything's reassembled. I did lose one bolt behind the dash, so I will go out and get a replacement at some point. And then I lost the bolt that holds down the center console. Still haven't found that one, but I don't have any extra bolts, so that's good. Alright, so right now we should be on defrost and floor vents. Floor vent. So we're working there. Here's the froster output. And we're working there. Switch over to front vent. Front vent right down doesn't have any air coming out of it. Let's change that. And now we have air. There is no recalibration of the system because everything is keyed, so it only goes one way, and there's no way to screw it up unless you break something. Alright, let's call that done for now. Everything looks like it's running just fine. Hopefully lasts for a while.